one of the things you and I talked about not too long ago was y'all had a really beefed up summer school this year. How'd that go?
It went very well, actually. We had originally around 2,000 students.
That's a lot for summer school.
Yeah, a lot. That's K-12. And we, some of the students we actually contacted and told the parents they need to be in summer school based on some assessments. At the high school level, we had where they could make up work, and then we had some standalone courses that kids were taking. So it was a challenge. Transportation was a challenge, but we got it done, and we fed the students breakfast and lunch. The numbers did drop off some after July 4th, which we kind of suspected, but the ones that are there certainly are going to be helped by it, particularly elementary students. Some of the kids that were there were very far behind from what some of the administrators told me. So we were glad that we were doing it. We were able to use ESSER money, which is COVID relief money, to pay the employees. We were able to pay teachers $60 an hour, which really kind of helped us recruit teachers to do it. We were very fortunate that a lot of our new hires, particularly from Anderson University, students that were student teaching in the spring, we actually hired a lot of them for next year, but we went ahead and hired them to do summer school as well. So these kids right out of college, they loved it because finally I'm getting a paycheck after basically being broke for 4 years. And plus then they'll teach with us at various schools around the district. So it's a short summer.
That's what I was going to ask you. What are the challenges of the short summer?
Primarily getting the buildings ready for next year. What we had to do in the schools, because you're stripping floors, you're cleaning, you're doing things that doing a lot of maintenance that you can't do during the middle of the year, painting, touching up, paving driveways, resurfacing, restriping parking lots, just general preventative maintenance. So what our custodians, I would like to thank them and our maintenance staff, they would actually get one wing of a school ready and then move the kids to that wing and go to another wing where the students were and work on that and kind of rotate around so the buildings will be ready August 17th. A lot of it is some building and some improvements, even at this building. Those that actually drive by here, we're redoing all the parking lots behind our main building on Pyramid Dairy Road where all the buses park. You may, if you ride around, you may notice that our buses now are stationed at different places. Some are at West Side in the parking lot. Some are at the old Wamsetta building on 28 Bypass, Wamsetta Mill, excuse me. So we're redoing all this in the back behind our main office. There's 2 trailers back there that will be demolished or sold or given away or whatever. But the big construction right now is we're building, we're renovating 2 buildings downtown. The old First Citizens Bank building in the corner of Whitner and Main. Then the old Commercial Bank building, which is right beside it, which is adjacent to Wren Park. The front building on Main and Whitner is going to be renovated. They're doing that now. That will house a lot of the administrative offices. My office will be there. All finance will be moving there. The second building, the Commercial Bank building, is going to be demolished. It's in terrible shape. We're going to rebuild it. And we will house, in that building will be all our instructional staff, our special education staff, and then some rooms for professional development, those kind of things. It's a narrow building, so it's going to, I think, have 4 floors, so we can utilize that. And also, there are a lot of projects that are on the table that we're going to be implementing. At AIT, we're going to be adding culinary arts. Originally, when we were designing that building, we wanted to add culinary, and there was a lot of discussion, should we or shouldn't we? But in hindsight, it was a mistake not to, because it's a very popular program, course for kids. You look at all the cooking shows that are on TV now. So we're going to add that. It's going to be a little over $1 million project to renovate a lab there that it's like a technology lab, so we'll be able to move that and take that space.
And the business partnerships have gone as planned with all the programs at AIT?
Yeah, with Michelin and Bosch and Arthrex has been a very partner, and Med, different ones. I don't know how many millions that have been donated into that facility, but Dr. Couch certainly does a great job of reaching out. Another big project that's going to be rolling out in the next 18 months, which I'm excited, is rebuilding the science labs at Westside High School. Those are the original labs when the school was built, and things change, technology changes, so we're going to renovate those. Also, I want to get back to the main administrative building. This building that we're currently in now, once we move out, 50 people will be downtown. And we're going to, in this building on Pyramidary Road, human resources will still be here, student services will be here, transportation and technology. Because what the public needs to remember, this building was built in 1968, 67. Well, there was no special ed departments then. There was no technology. Technology was a rotary dial phone. And
typewriter ribbons.
Yeah, and that was it. So technology takes a lot of space, a lot of equipment. So that will basically allow us to have everybody from the central office point of view in a building. Those are the big ones right now that we're looking at. There's some issues with tennis courts at Hannah and Westside. They're going to have to be, we got to dig them up next year and redo them because of water issues. And what people it takes a lot of time, a lot of resources to maintain 23 different buildings and sites that are used every day. You just know the wear and tear that happen. I have 4 grandkids. When they come to my house to visit, there's always something to fix when they leave. So imagine with 14,000 students. So also, as you know, we're not having virtual school next year. It'll be all face-to-face. And we're utilizing a lot of space at the old Boys High on McDuffie Street in the old Career Center. We have our alternative school there, personalized learning center, our bridge program, our charter school, and also our homeless liaison works out of there, which gives her a lot of space to store supplies and things to help families that are in need.
And there are a lot more students than people think that have no permanent address, right?
Oh yeah, I talked to her yesterday, Lisa Butler, and she said, I'm already getting calls. And she told me that it was quiet for a long time. Stimulus money and all that. Well, as that starts waning, the calls will come back. And we have a lot of kids. Usually we have between 300 and 400 kids that qualify as homeless that we have to serve.
What about the return of athletics, full force? I mean, Everything's back in. Are y'all ready for that? And what challenges does that bring? Yeah,
we're still, we're full force. We're still trying to, disinfect and clean and those things. But as you know, the mask mandate is gone. In fact, we can't even require masks by the proviso that was in the budget this year. Employees and students certainly can wear them if they want to. But we're full right now. We're going full steam ahead with school and hope for the best.
Are the athletes excited? I mean, and their extracurricular folks happy to be back?
Yeah. I've talked to the coaches, and they're excited. They did a lot of 7-on-7 camps this summer at the high schools. Also, as you know, we're partnering with the YMCA to build a cross-country facility out at the Duckworth Tucker area. All that's going to be totally rebuilt. District 5 is partnering with the Y. We're putting in $1.9 million. And our part will help build a state-of-the-art cross-country facility that will allow us to host not only state but national meets. And we're designing the course so we can actually host NCAA meets. And so the technology and infrastructure will be there. In fact, we're working with a coach out of Georgia that's retired. It's run off a lot of big meets. He's going to be working with us to coordinate that. And we visited several sites around the country. But for those that don't know, cross country can be a huge revenue producer, not only for the school district but for the community. Because when these runners come from all over the southeast, they're going to spend the night. And so they stay in hotels, they go to restaurants, and we collect tax money on all these people that don't live here. And so we're really excited about that. I know Joe Drennan at the Y is excited. They're going to be athletic fields, concessions. It's really going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal for this community once it's done. Those cross-country trails and all will be used by the community to go jog and walk or whatever. And then if a church or a school or a nonprofit wants to have a fun run, well, they can have it on our facility. And that way you're not running on roads, and so you get the experience. It's over the hill and through the woods, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be something that folks in South Carolina have never seen. In my former district in Georgia, we had the state cross country course on our campus, and it was the largest revenue producer behind football. And people don't think about that. And most high school sports lose money. You don't make a lot of money in wrestling. You don't make any money hardly in tennis, and track makes very little money. So football makes the most and has to kind of carry everything. Well, so if we can generate a lot of revenue through cross country, that will help us support all these other non-revenue producing sports. It's the same at universities. Clemson football pays the freight for about everything else.
You mentioned partnerships. How important are those partnerships? People don't think about schools having to partner or helping partner with people to do things for the community.
Yeah, they're very important. I read somewhere that on any given day, 70% of a community has not been on a school campus. We think everybody goes to school. That's not true. A lot of people, their kids are gone, and so I think it's important to connect with the community through nonprofits. We're a big partner with AIM and United Way and all those kind of entities. We have a lot of our staff are on their boards, to work, and because strong schools make strong communities, and vice versa. So it's kind of a partnership that people should take pride in, and we've expressed that to the county with economic development. We're pretty good salesmen here. That anytime they've asked us to do that. We've talked to different groups that they're trying to recruit businesses. This is what we offer as schools. That's one of the reasons AIT was built. Look what we can do to help you have workers in the future. So it's I think we're very fortunate here in Anderson to have a very positive relationship with our local delegation, with the county council, and with the city council. One of the goals when I got here from the board was, look, we've got to build these relationships, and I think we've built them all the way to Columbia. We have a great relationship with the governor, his staff, and then our legislative delegation have been great to work with.
I don't want to go too far without skipping over football. How's football look coming in? Any new coaches? Anything new people will notice in football teams this year?
There's no new head coaches. There's new assistants at at both schools. I think both of them are going to be very competitive. West Side is from what Coach Early told me, they don't have as much depth as they would like, but neither does anybody. I think Hannah's going to be very strong this year. I think both of them, and what I like best, they're not in the same classification anymore. Westside's 4A, Hannah's 5A, so that allows, so technically we could win 2 state championships, one in 4A and one in 5A, which I'd probably retire if that happens and just go ahead out in the sunset.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, but they, I've talked to both coaches and ADs. They seem very positive. As you know, both ADs are retiring after next year, and we've hired an assistant ADs to come in and work with the schools. And I think
is that an unusual model? I noticed y'all were doing that. Is that an unusual?
Yeah, it's unusual, and I want to thank our Board of Education for supporting it. And what our position was, look how far we've come athletically in the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, and it wasn't me, it was a team effort. And let's don't drop the ball, because, you make 1 or 2 wrong hires in any business. You can go from, it's like that song by Frank Sinatra, you're on top in May and you're on the bottom in June, and or April and May, whatever the song says. But, you make a wrong hire and it can spiral quick. And so we want to make sure people that are coming in to replace people, understand the culture, understand where we're going, and I think our board was very supportive of that, which I think speaks highly of them. Instructionally, we know next year is going to be a huge challenge. Our staff is working extremely hard, and these are the challenges I know we're gonna have. We're gonna have kids that when COVID hit were in the 4th grade and they went home, we shut down. And say if they were virtual in the 5th grade, now they're gonna go to middle school and they haven't been in a school since the 4th grade, and so they left a small elementary and now they're gonna go to a middle school with kids they don't know, they've been out of touch with. And the same with a student who was in the 7th grade. Say if they were virtual in the 8th, now all of a sudden they're going to be at Hannah or Westside. Well, that's a big adjustment. It's a big adjustment at best, when everything's there. So, what I've told our staff, and we'll tell them again, we got to be flexible. We got to be patient. We got to understand there are going to be a lot of issues that kids are going to bring with them. It's going to take all we've got this year. The hardest we've ever worked in public education will be this coming school year. It will make last year look like a piece of cake because of what is coming. Then when you put on top of that, we don't know what this virus is going to do. Now, we're proud that we have 72% of our employees vaccinated. We do know that. We don't know how many students are vaccinated. I encouraged them all to get vaccinated. In fact, we did a bonus for those that got the vaccine by a certain date, got a $500 bonus. And that moved our needle up about 14 or 15% that were vaccinated. Get the vaccine. I can't mandate it. I can't make you. But I'm just glad the political arena wasn't around vaccines when we developed polio and smallpox. We
still have our scars.
Yeah, exactly. We still have our scars. If we hadn't, if the political climate had been the same around polio, a lot of people my age would have had polio. Because in the 50s when I was born and, we started getting the vaccine at school. And
y'all have always had requirements for kids coming in to have had certain inoculations and vaccines. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there are some opt-outs for religion or whatever, but and then we require all our employees to have a TB test. The way I equate it is this. Why do we have a law you got to wear seatbelts? To save lives. That's the way I look at the vaccine. It's to save lives. Now, everybody can do what they want to do. I've been vaccinated. I tell people I'm bulletproof. But what concerns me, in all seriousness, if we have a teacher who is not vaccinated, and they're at the shoulder of a child teaching them how to read, and they've got it and they don't know it, and now all of a sudden we start spreading it to kids, and we can't require them to wear masks. We can't, the protection that we had last year as far as masks is gone. So, we're just encouraging people, think about others. If you look at the numbers in the United States, we had one of the highest death rates per capita of first world countries. But whatever comes our way, we'll deal with. We have ordered more masks just in case something comes out where we do have to wear them, provide them. But we just hope a lot of students get it, particularly athletes. My own grandson's 13; he's getting it. And he plays sports in Atlanta. But it's going to be an interesting year.
Everybody still eats free this year, is that
correct?
And that's a statewide thing.
It's national, I think.
National,
yeah, everybody eats free, which for years I thought everybody should eat free anyway. We have approximately 13,500 students, a little over 2,000 what I call W-2 employees. Now we contract with a lot of other people that are 1099 for different things, but we have a little over 2,000 W-2 employees. And in public school, what the general public may not know, that we are a very labor-intensive business. In every school district, basically, between 80 to 90% of all the money goes for salaries, because we are a very labor intensive. It's not the electric bill, it's not, vehicles, it's for people. And that's what and the better people you hire, the better school district you're gonna have. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be a different year. It won't be like it was in 2016, but hopefully it won't be like it was last year. But we just, hope and pray that, the virus subsides and more people get vaccinated and we can have a normal existence. Because I was talking to one of my board members, Tommy Price, who, is the PA announcer for Westside, and we were talking about how ball games last year just didn't feel like ball games. It was just a weird, it was like watching NFL on TV with no fans. They had canned fans cheering and all. It wasn't the same vibe. And so hopefully this year, bands, cheerleaders, packed stadiums will be the norm and not the exception. Yeah, one of the things we're excited about is just get everybody back. All our teachers, the virtual teachers, 122 were separated. Now granted, a lot of them love teaching virtually, but it's going to be good just to get them all back. All the kids back, parents at events and ball games, and let school become normal again. We're around the country and even in the state, when schools weren't opening and teachers were whining and administrative, we can't go back to school. We went back to school, and we were one of the first districts to come out statewide and said, we're going back after Labor Day. And in fact, we were recognized for that by the governor. But I think it was important to show the courage of our teachers. And we lost a few teachers that said, I can't do it. And we understood that. But the rest of them, they did their duty. And they could be commended for that. And that's one of the reasons that we tried to, we gave bonuses last year and vaccine bonuses, a way to thank them as best we could, because that was tough on some of them. And we tried to pair. We had some that had elderly living with them that maybe we put them teaching virtually. We tried to make it all work, and I can only think of 2 or 3 that said nothing's going to work, I can't do it. So hopefully we won't have that. But my main message to them is thank you for answering the bell when others didn't.